the year 1996. I'm 11 years old and I'm playing the leading role in the theater play of my high school in Istanbul. I'm on stage surrounded by thousands of years of history. The spotlight is on and the venue fades into darkness. My friends are on stage with me, hundreds of people in the audience, and I feel so alive. So many emotions are racing through my body: pride, excitement, anxiety. I'd been the first to volunteer for the leading role in this play without thinking twice. Weeks and weeks of preparation, thousands of words, hundreds of lines, and I was ready. But as I stood there on stage, looking out at the crowd, I knew something could go wrong. And then it did. I forgot my lines. The script vanished. I froze. The silence felt like it would never end. Then my body took over. I started laughing. Deep, uncontrollable laughter in the middle of the scene in front of everyone. You know the kind of laughter you just can't stop no matter how hard you try? But something amazing happened afterwards. I paused. Instead of panicking, I took a deep, long breath, looked at the audience, and said, I mean, this is funny, isn't it? The audience just tense moments ago erupted in laughter with me. It was like they were waiting for my response to finally relax. It felt so powerful. In that moment, I wasn't trying to be perfect. I was simply being real. I was nervous and I'd forgotten my lines. The connection that I felt to myself, the audience, to the play, and to something far beyond the play was so transformational. I felt peace. I felt presence. I felt surrender. And from that place, I found the clarity to reconnect with the script and deliver the play flawlessly until the end. That memory was one of the rare times in my life where I felt truly alive, shamelessly me. And little did I know that this memory would actually become the foundation for one of the most important turning points in my life 27 years later. The stage was more than just a performance. It was a lesson in life and in leadership. And the script, it was everything that I had been conditioned to believe. Society's expectations, external pressures, my own fears and anxieties. For years, I followed a different script, the script of success, thinking that if I nail it, I'd finally feel good enough, accepted, and fulfilled. Just like I once lost my lines on that stage, I lost myself in the pursuit of perfection. By the age of 34, I'd made it, at least on paper. I'd built a career across continents and industries and became the youngest senior vice president at the FTSE 100 company I was working for at the time. Status, recognition, financial success, it was all there. But inside of me, there was a growing feeling of emptiness. I was exhausted. At the age of 21, I had already developed an ulcer, took heavy medication, and kept pushing forward without ever questioning why. I was so focused on the performance that I couldn't even hear my body screaming. In investment banking, I worked 100-hour weeks, barely slept, while trying to take care of myself and my team. One night, an analyst in my team collapsed from exhaustion. I found myself on the phone to his crying mother while trying to arrange urgent medical care. A senior managing director walked by and coldly said, Umit, next time, let's not recruit any more weaklings. I was furious. My core values were clashing with the system around me. This couldn't be the cost of success. This wasn't human. After that, I began a slow journey back to myself. Every small change, every small decision was an attempt to step off that script I'd been living by for so long. But it wasn't enough. My responsibilities kept growing. The emptiness inside of me deepened until eventually the pressure became too much. September 2023. I was 38 years old. That morning, something inside of me shifted. I had a busy day, back-to-back meetings, weeks of travel arranged, urgent customer issues to solve, deals to make, an organization to manage, but I couldn't move. My mind wanted to keep going, but my body was telling me no more. I couldn't open my laptop, I couldn't even send a single email. I dropped my son off at school, came back home, looked at my wife and said, "I'm done." She saw it in my eyes, and no further explanation was needed. I didn't have the strength to pick up the phone, so she dialed the number for me, handed the phone to me. I told my boss I'm done. Just like that, I walked away from a career I'd spent 20 years building. No plan, no title, no idea who I would be the next day. And in that moment, I asked myself, who am I? Beyond the titles, the achievements, the performance, what do I really want? And I remembered that 11-year-old boy on stage. The freedom, the vulnerability, the humanity. I realized I never needed the script in the first place. I had always been complete. I just had to believe it and start acting from that place. The turning point came when I realized this. Life, and especially leadership, isn't about following the perfect script. It's about responding to what's in front of you in a way that feels aligned with who you are. At the age of 11, when I lost my lines, I thought I had failed. I hadn't. I adapted. I stayed present. I led from what was happening rather than what should have been happening. And that was enough. In fact, it was more than enough. It was exactly what that moment needed. A pause, a genuine connection to myself, and then to those around me. At the age of 38, I had to do the same. I stepped away from the high-stakes career I'd built. I sought silence. I spent time in nature. I meditated. I reflected. I reconnected with parts of myself that I had so long ignored. And in that stillness, I rediscovered the power of play to redesign my life and especially the work that I do. I remembered that 11-year-old boy on stage, laughing, free, imperfect, fully alive. That wasn't failure. That was resilience. It was about staying present and trusting I would find my way, not through control, but through surrender and being human. So I began rewriting my script, not one filled with shoulds and constant striving, but one that felt aligned with who I am. What I found next was abundance. Not in titles and possessions, but in connection with myself and with others. The more I showed up as my real self, the more others felt safe to do the same with me. Opportunities appeared, the right people entered my life, I helped them, they helped me. Just like that, I was back in flow, rising. Just like on that stage in 1996, when my laughter brought the audience with me, I realized how being visibly human creates leadership that lifts everyone. We don't need perfect leaders. We need human leaders. Leaders who are brave enough to say, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Leaders who communicate vision through stories, who approach conversations with vulnerability and curiosity, and leaders who genuinely put people first. Leaders who allow themselves and others to be human and to be seen. Because when we do that, we don't just lead, we co-create, and that's where true abundance comes from. So many brilliant and capable people are hiding in the shadows, waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect version of themselves to step into the light. But the truth is, that moment may never come. We live in a world that's obsessed with perfection and achievement. But perfection disconnects. Being human connects. Just like it did on that stage in 1996 when I forgot my lines. When we allow ourselves to be human, to laugh when we forget our lines, to pause when we're overwhelmed, and to lead from where we are, the more aligned our leadership becomes. And in doing so, we allow others to do the same. Isn't that what leadership is all about? That 11-year-old boy wasn't failing. He was thriving. Because in that moment, he wasn't trying to be perfect. He was simply being human. And that was more than enough. So, for anyone who needs to hear this, step onto your own stage. Not as the perfect version of yourself, but as the real you, exactly as you are today. The world is waiting for that version of you to be seen. So let it. Thank you.